Hi all, my name is Philosophical, and this is my first of hopefully many new videos. I started YouTube all the way back in 2009. It's mainly been a place for random school projects, long-form videos I'm too lazy to really do anything with, and a place for me to upload the random stuff for my family and friends to see. Right now my guaranteed video schedule is every 6 years. I'll release a Minecraft video as part of an ongoing joke. I finished my master's this past May and have been needing a creative outlet now that I'm no longer writing research papers. I don't necessarily want to say these will stick to any theme in particular because I have a wide variety of interests. My master's is in history and I focus on cross-cultural interactions and colonial impact/mindsets. I think these videos are going to range from Legos to history to whatever random niche I'm interested/hyperfixated on at that time. I'm open to feedback and suggestions, as I have never done anything like this before. Today I wanted to talk about a Lego theme I'm all too familiar with and one that I had to research extensively. In this video I'll be discussing how Ninjago is a great spiritual successor to Bionicle. Without further ado, let's talk about my favorite inedible material, microplastics. Or macroplastics, sorry. Let's talk about Lego's Bionicle and Ninjago themes. I was either 3 or 4 years old when my parents got me my first ever Bionicle, none other than Toa Nuva. Although he has been lost to the bin and that bin has been lost to time, one of my earliest memories is cracking that crisp seal on Lewa and building him. He always will hold a special place in my memory, and I'll also physically be affected by him. Running through the house at full speed is not advised with Bionicles, as I busted my front teeth in while running with him. I know my own childhood, however, along with many others, was blessed with tons of memories of playing with Bionicles. Few non-licensed LEGO themes ring a bell as much as Bionicle. Originally running from 2001 to 2010, Bionicle developed a major cult following, with a variety of accolades such as receiving Most Innovative Toy in 2001, Bionicle is easily one of the most successful toys of all time. In addition to being critically adored, children love them. According to an article in Business Wire in 2009, 85% of American boys ages 6 to 12 had heard of Bionicle, while 45% owned the sets. Although many know about the play aspect, it's much less known that Bionicle had some top-tier storytelling. The Bionicle franchise had lore. Let me tell you, it had lore. Now, I do want to note that it would be wrong to promote the story of Bionicle as simply a story. The story, at the end of the day, is a capitalist marketing tool designed to sell more toys to children. No different than this, or these. But what makes this one special is how absolutely insane its story is. I cannot cover the entire lore of Bionicle in this video. Please go check out Duckbrick's 9.5 hour long video. The link will be in the bio. Now, before we get moving on to the themes of Bionicle, I do want to give a slight spoiler warning. There will be some major Bionicle story moments discussed shortly. If you want to experience the story, please pause the video, come back when you're ready. Okay, you back? Alright, let's continue. The Bionicle lore is expanded in comics, movies, books, digital forums, games, and even podcasts. Bionicle begins at the start of the multimedia age, where not only could a story exist on paper and movies, but also in games. Throughout the story of Bionicle, there are moments of betrayal, sacrifice, and growth. These are only a few examples of the beauty that is in Bionicle. In the Bionicle mantra, they state unity, duty, and destiny. I don't know what Greg Farshtey was cooking or doing at the time that he made the story for Bionicle, but that man, he cooked. Alright? In addition to doing great with Bionicle, he also would later work on the successor of Bionicle, Hero Factory. Possibly the most anime-centric LEGO series we'll ever get, Exo Force, and Ninjago, which in my opinion is the true spiritual successor to Bionicle. Sadly, Bionicle came to an end in 2010 due to a lack of sales or possibly LEGO hating me. It would be revived with a new building system in 2015, only to be cancelled a year later. Given the short legacy of Bionicle Gen 2, we are going to say 2010 really was the end of Bionicle as we knew it. The decade-long story came to an end, and most people tend to either love or hate the ending. What most people do agree on, however, is that the successor LEGO had created was lacking the same feel and heart as Bionicle did. Now, while I love Hero Factory's designs and concept, I can say that it was kind of a flop. Hero Factory only lasted 4 years, but most don't remember its story, and many see it more as a futuristic rip-off rather than a true successor of Bionicle. Although there is a lot of information on Hero Factory explaining why it failed, let's transition to Ninjago and talk about how it became a new iteration in LEGO storytelling. Starting in 2011, Ninjago put a new twist on LEGO's idea of ninjas. Although LEGO had already created sets on ninjas and samurais, Ninjago took it to a new level. No longer was LEGO creating semi-historic sets based on warriors from days past. LEGO now was taking elements from ninjas, samurai, magic, and mechs, putting them all together into one theme. With these superpowered ninjas, their powers mainly stemmed from elemental energy. Now, Bionicle had been known for having a set of heroes based around elements for years, and Ninjago would keep this idea. While Bionicle had fire, water, ice, earth, stone, air, and like 10 other ones, Ninjago only had 4 main elements of creation: fire, lightning, ice, and earth. Additionally, there are many others, but you can go check out Tanner Fishy's video. They do a really awesome job kind of explaining the other elements and ranking them. Link, of course, will be in the bio. These elemental similarities give rise to the idea of how characters are able to accomplish such great feats, but the storytelling is what really gets more impressive. Again, the story of Ninjago is designed to sell toys, but it is still impressive. Although it is much sillier and humorous than Bionicle, the story spans eons and covers everything from the creation of the universe to, well, now. Ninjago's story is similar to Bionicle in that it's covered in books, comics, and a TV series, along with a movie. While I'm definitely less familiar with Ninjago's story, what I can tell you is that you should go watch a few episodes of it on Netflix. You'll laugh, but also be impressed by the depth of its story. Like a kid's show with so much betrayal, sacrifice, and growth is impressive. The storytelling of Ninjago is very reminiscent of Bionicle, and it shows that toys can be used to still be involved with an engaging narrative. While Ninjago and most Bionicle sets look incredibly different, much of Ninjago's building technique for large-scale creatures and mecha owe major thanks to Bionicle's construction building system. This later would evolve to CCBS, Character and Creature Building System. This system of construction, which relied heavily on clips for armor and joint pieces, would replace the former construction, which was heavily focused on Technic pieces. CCBS would define the 2010s era of figure builds. Hero Factory, Ben 10, and the Star Wars buildable figures all would utilize the CCBS system. Within this system, people were less limited than construction, however they still had trouble mixing in other pieces, and many of the CCBS pieces had little utility outside of building characters/creatures. Ninjago, on the other hand, would start using system and more brick-focused components to develop their sets. From dragons to mechs, Ninjago used brick-oriented ball joints since the beginning. Their use of LEGO ball joints mixed with traditional system elements promoted it to create some incredible builds. In 2022, this CCBS system would be replaced with SCCBS, the System Creature and Character Build System. The system was intended to help with one of the main issues with the other, which still made mixing elements difficult. For more information, you can go check out Duck Brick's video on this. Again, they do a great job. The new system gives the ability to create mechs with a wider variety of elements and a wider variety of pieces. However, there are still limitations. Here we see that the evolution of these building systems followed the transition from Bionicle to Ninjago, and in many ways Ninjago is still keeping the essence of Bionicle in their builds. In addition to this build system, Ninjago's and Bionicle's biggest focus is the playability feature. From the first wave of Bionicles, this theme had a focus on play and action. The original Toas had a gearbox mechanism to give them arms that moved with a gearbox, or if you're Bohatu, your legs can move so you can kick boulders. Kodok and Gadok's lunge feature is super fun. The Kanoka disc launcher is loud for fun, I'm sure some eye pain, and the Zammer launcher is allowed for a lot more fun. Bionicle's functions and play features allow for hours of fun and replayability, allowing people to create a new story with their actual figures. Ninjago would continue this legacy. The original Spinjitzu sets created a fun game for kids with Beyblade-esque spinners. This was just the start to Ninjago's cool play features, and just like its predecessor, they'd evolve and develop more over time. Sets such as 2508 show the unique features that Ninjago would develop using gear mechanisms to reveal hidden areas that are found in many of these sets. From missile launchers to moving gondolas, these sets are full of moving features that add an extra element of play. While these are not uncommon in other LEGO themes, I feel that Ninjago's moving features embody the idea of imagination and play that Bionicle once did so well. Maybe I'm biased, but I think Ninjago takes the spirit of Bionicle and in many ways goes further. While Bionicle's large playsets were very limited given the 13 release, they foreshadow what would come to be for Ninjago's playsets. While the largest of the Bionicle playsets, 8759 Battle of Metro Nui, hardly holds a torch to Ninjago's city markets or city gardens, it is easy to see the influence of Bionicle's large playsets in these large Ninjago sets. Overall, the playsets for Bionicle are just a small percentage of the sets made overall. However, Ninjago is majority playsets. The Ninjago sets include mechs, bases, dragons, and even cars. Yeah, I'm a little confused about the last one, given they're ninjas, but oh well. Given the variety of Ninjago sets, I think any Bionicle fan can appreciate the selection offered. In Bionicle, you are limited to basically small, good, bad characters, medium, good or bad characters, and large characters. Ninjago offers the same, but with a much wider selection of sets that cater to more individual interests. According to Brickset, Bionicle has a grand total of 389 listed sets/items. This does include single mask packs, toothbrushes, and some other random merchandise. However, it is impressive to see that nearly 400 items were made in Bionicle's 10-year lifespan. Now, back in 2022, Ninjago surpassed the lifespan of Bionicle, and it's still continuing now here a year later in 2023. With that in mind, Brickset does list over 800 items for this theme. Again, that does include some random stuff, but it's still impressive that it has had so much more produced, even in only 2 extra years. While people have complained about some recent sets, it's hard to deny that Ninjago is LEGO's most popular non-licensed theme today. Whether young or old, the play features and designs of these sets have inspired fans to keep building and playing. At the time of writing this, Bionicle has recently had a big fan resurgence. Although I personally find myself in limbo between despising short-form content and actively contributing to its takeover, it has been a breath of fresh air for the Bionicle community. Its fan base has garnered more mainstream attention in recent years than in the past decade. Following the end of Bionicle in 2010, the community kept it alive online. Between BizPower and the Biomedia project, it would be hard to tell that Bionicle had even been discontinued. But the moment you stepped outside of those circles, it was like it had ceased to exist. Slowly, as short-form media gained popularity, many people seemingly have found a new love for Bionicle. I'll be honest, although I never really lost interest in it, it wasn't until COVID that I began getting active in the community and did a deep dive into the story again. I saw a TikTok and it sparked my love for the theme that, as a child, I loved. The community continues to this day, creating their own stories, praying for a G3 reboot, spamming Greg Varsity and Christian Faber to make it return, and building incredible mocks. Genuinely, the Bionicle community gives me hope that they have kept a discontinued franchise so alive. And LEGO is aware. I mean, just this past year we got a SCCBS Tahu set, which personally I'm a big fan of. LEGO has dropped other little Easter eggs, such as in the Monkey Kid sets and some other city sets, to show that they still acknowledge that the fandom is alive and well. While we might not ever get a Bionicle G3, the community has kept the theme alive and well. Ninjago's community has quite the cult following and to this day is still extremely active. Although the theme is very much geared towards kids similar to Bionicle, there is a large community of adults who collect the sets. Something to consider is that similar to Bionicle, if someone was a child when it first came out, they are an adult now. I was 12 when Ninjago began, and looking at the sets now compared to the ones that were first released when I was a kid, LEGO has understood that their fans are growing up. The final wave of Bionicle Generation 1 is often claimed to be the worst one. While there's a whole lot to unpack with the last wave, and I'm sure I could make a video talking about it at some point, this was a poor send-off for G1. LEGO learned from this mistake, I hope. Although they do primarily produce toys for children, their fans tend to never really lose interest. They might phase out of them for a while, but they always seem to come back. LEGO has started producing more detailed and complex Ninjago sets that appeal more to adults than kids who want, LEGO ninjas. Such as the aforementioned city/garden market sets, LEGO has come to understand their fans now have different tastes in the sets and want more detail. If anything can really show this, I'd like to head over to Reddit for a little bit. While of course you can lie on the internet, Reddit's most popular for people between the ages of 18 and 29. Although that statistic isn't going to be universal and accurate in every subreddit, it is important to consider. We will take a look at r/Bionicle first, as it is the largest Bionicle subreddit. Although its meme sister forum is only 1,000 people behind it. Bionicle LEGO currently has 58,000 people joined. If everyone from this subreddit was to be seated together, they could fill the entire Washington Commanders field at max capacity, which I don't know if that's ever happened. I think that's incredible that nearly 60,000 people all have this common interest. Looking at our other theme, r/Ninjago does have slightly less at roughly 41,000 members. Regardless of the difference, that is still a substantial number of people. Considering that Reddit does categorize subreddits, Ninjago ranks 17th and Bionicle LEGO is at 18th at the time of this recording. It's easy to see the popularity of these subs. In the Ninjago sub, people discuss the story, upcoming sets, and help identify old minifigures parts to sets. Additionally, there is a ton of fan art. The art is incredible and it ranges from drawings to people recreating the entire Ninjago world in Minecraft. The love for these themes is evident by the fan activity on Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok. With over 20 years between the two production themes, they have gained a massive following and a fan base that cherishes them. Given that I've been talking for over 15 minutes now, and I originally planned this to be a whopping 10, maybe 15 minutes long, I'd say it's time we wrap it up. While Bionicle ended in 2010, Ninjago picked up a year later and carried a new torch bearing the themes and ideas of Bionicle. With Ninjago's unique story that adapted with each wave of sets, it took the narrative idea of Bionicle and grew from it. Looking at the mistakes of Bionicle's past, it has tried not to repeat them, but seeing the ideas that made Bionicle so innovative, it continued the legacy. Even with its production ending over a decade ago, Bionicle's story and fanbase continues to expand and stay strong. Now that Ninjago has been in production for longer than Bionicle was, it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Is there going to be a Gen 3 for Bionicle? Maybe. Probably not, though. Is LEGO trying to phase out Ninjago? They did already. They tried to phase it out with Nexo Knights and Shima, but both of those are gone now. Who knows where LEGO's going to go from here? In the age of corporation collabs, we don't know if LEGO is going to continue pumping energy into their own IPs, or if they're going to transition to only making licensed sets. That's the most beautiful part of this hobby. We don't know what the future will hold. If my 4-year-old self could see LEGO today, he'd be astonished. It is because of the common themes, the focus on play, and incredible storytelling. That is why I think Ninjago is the best spiritual successor to Bionicle. Now, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Again, I am super new to this. I'm hoping to make these every 2 months. Please leave me a comment with any feedback or tips for future videos. I am super new to this. I have done video editing. I've done some sound mixing in the past. I'm very rusty, so please give me feedback. If you think the sound is off, let me know so I can try and fix it in future videos. And give me ideas too if you have any videos that you think I could cover in depth. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, Also, let me know, hit the like button, subscribe. All support is greatly appreciated. If this does well, I might try and produce another video in less than 2 months, but if not, I will see you guys here in 2 months. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.